Okay guys, today we are in my friend Tom's 2012 Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport. We're going to talk a little bit about this car. It's got some really nice modifications. The valve on the exhaust is open, and there he is!
Woo! Let's do it!
Let's go for a drive.
Let's do it for Dale.
Okay. Sounds nice, goes nice, grips nice. So I can't remember the last car we filmed on this channel, your Trans Am. It's been a minute.
Well, we tried to do the Viper.
We tried to do the Viper and there was a massive audio fail.
That was my fault.
That's okay.
I made the Viper too loud.
That's alright. That's the day we figured out it shot flames though, which is pretty cool.
That is true.
So anyway, this is your 2012 Grand Sport. You sold the Viper for this.
I did.
And you really like it.
I love it. I had a C5 Z06 before.
It's not terrible.
I daily drove that with winter tires, the C5 Z06, and it was just so practical. I loved it. And then I got the Viper, and I hated driving it with the top up. So, and it wasn't practical. I wouldn't be driving that today. It's December 27th. It's just too cold. But this is a lot more practical, so I drive it every day. Every day I can.
Yeah, we haven't had any snow this winter yet, so you've literally been able to drive it every day.
Correct.
So you have the magnetic ride on this. What package is this again?
The car as a whole is Grand Sport.
Yep.
It's a Z16 is the order, the order code.
Okay. Bose sound system, magnetic ride.
Yeah, it's a 3LT.
Okay.
So the heads-up display and everything.
6.2 liter V8.
Yep. The LS3, it's got a dry sump system.
Great transmission.
Yeah, it's a TR6060.
It's just so manly. I was worried that when you were going to get this Grand Sport that it was going to be slow, but it's light. You said it's got a little bit extra power. It dynoed around 450.
Yeah, it's got Kooks 1 7/8 headers, long tubes, and then 3-inch X-pipe to the factory NPP exhaust, the valve exhaust.
Okay.
And then it's got a cold air intake Mamba.
Cool. Sounds good.
Thank you. My neighbors don't think so.
What else is new? Yeah, it's really approachable, super grippy. You have the Continental
Extreme contact.
Yeah, those tires are just, they ride well, they're super quiet, tons of grip in the cold.
I was a little worried about them when it got colder as it is now, but they're holding up very well.
Yeah, they feel good. I love that kick between gears. So we've been driving this around for a little bit. This is the first time I've driven this car. This is the first time I've driven a C6 Grand Sport. I've spent some time in like super high-powered C6s with Lingenfelter, and honestly, those were kind of a mess. This is really well balanced though. Like, yeah, this C6 that thing was crazy. It had like 700 horsepower. It was an automatic. It just spun everywhere. And I've driven Jared's Z06, which was pretty wild. And that was before his rebuild, so it was even wilder. But this is just, it's nice. The mag ride is fantastic. Like, you wouldn't want a better riding sports car. And then you flip it over into sport mode, and it doesn't even ride that much worse. But
it does become a little jarring.
It's a little
like in
stiffer.
Michigan, we have a lot of just tiny little splits in the road. And
Yeah.
you begin to feel every single one of them.
Sure.
In sport mode. You leave it in tour, it's not nearly as bad.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a noticeable difference as far as like roll goes. doing sport, it's definitely noticeable.
But I mean, you could leave it in sport and it'd be totally livable.
You could.
Yeah, it's just nice to have that extra soft setting available to you.
It's also easier to convince my wife to take it on long drives if I leave it in tour.
Exactly, and that's another reason why you bought this thing.
Yeah, she didn't like riding in the Viper.
Yeah.
She liked the Viper when it was sitting there looking pretty, but
yeah,
riding in it she was not a fan of.
Well, I mean, you still drove that thing a ton, and on a regular basis, you almost dailied that.
I put like 14,000 miles on it in 2 years.
Yeah.
So, and for some people that may not seem like much. I don't do a lot of driving, so that was the majority of my driving.
Yeah, this thing's awesome. And honestly, we were talking about this earlier, it's probably pretty rare, too, in this color combination with this glass roof, or not, it's not glass, but it's like, I don't know, what material it is.
Yeah, transparent roof, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, because you get a little bit of a convertible feel. Everything comes off.
Yeah, and the mag ride. I think a lot of people kind of chose not to go with the mag ride, because this wasn't exactly a track car when people were, if someone wanted a track car, they'd go with Z06.
Yeah. But kind of, this is kind of the sweetheart of the Corvette lineup, at least nowadays it is, and this was kind of the first representation of that, because there wasn't a C5 Grand Sport.
No, there was a C4 though.
Yeah. But
and there were Grand Sports further back as well.
Okay. That's right, yeah. C4 Grand Sport had with the blue with the red and stuff, right? Yeah. I remember that. I just remember that in Gran Turismo.
Well, and similar to the C7 setup, you get a lot of the goodies from the more powerful cars, like the wide body, the dry sump on the LS3.
That's pretty cool.
I would have to check, but I think the brakes are the same as the 06 brakes.
Yeah. Yeah, they are the same brakes. They do the job.
They do.
Yeah. The dry sump's pretty neat. Takes a little while for it to warm up because you have, what, about a little over 10 quarts of oil.
Yep. I would imagine in summer it won't be as much of an issue, but when you start the car and it's 30 degrees out,
yeah,
it's not really warm until I get to work.
Yeah. Man, this thing sounds awesome.
We've been driving it for, what, probably 40 minutes now?
Yeah.
And it's still only 171 degrees all the time.
Well, I think the Grand Sport was kind of designed, too, to be driven on track all day and stay cool. Oops, forgot to leave it in tour. Still did pretty well.
Yeah.
The thing about the mag ride is it just figures out what type of suspension you need in any given situation. And GM's always they've had really good suspension systems with that in every car. Every iteration of magnetic ride control that I've driven, on a Camaro, on a Corvette, like, it works phenomenally well. I think Ford's starting to introduce it too into their Mustangs now. So you have the headers and the exhaust valves are kept open.
So
Stuck open, yep.
The previous owner, I actually just have never put it back in, pulled the fuse for the exhaust, and when you do that, it just leaves them open permanently. So on the highway, you don't necessarily get any drone, but if you lay into the gas a little bit to pass,
yeah, you get a little bit.
Yeah, you get a little bit of noise. It's hard to talk over.
Yeah. It's not too bad though. I can't stress how like comfortable this thing is too. I mean, the seats are not very supportive at all, but they're soft and they're comfortable.
The seats are perfect until you start taking an entrance ramp or an exit ramp and you're looking for some support.
I mean, they're cruising seats. They definitely don't hold you in for the massive amount of grip this thing has. But at the same time, they're really comfortable, and this makes it for a really good GT car.
Yeah, it's nice having heated seats in the winter too.
Yeah, that's right. Cool. Do you what kind of gas mileage are you getting in this?
Like cruising right now, we're probably getting something mid-20s, 20 to mid-20s.
Yep.
But my tanks honestly have been anywhere from like 13.8 to 15.5.
Okay. Well, you've been having fun in this.
Yeah, and I like to do all the rev match downshifts and all of that fun. So I'm never really doing like a full tank for gas mileage.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It has the from the factory, it has the 342 rear end. So all of my older like 6-speed cars with big displacement, the Trans Am, the Vette, the Viper, those were all doing at 70 miles per hour, something like 1100, 1200, 1300 RPM. But this is a little higher in the RPM, so I don't really expect the gas mileage I'm used to. It gets almost identical gas mileage to the Viper.
Okay.
So I thought it'd be a little bit better, but I forgot about that rear end.
Yeah, that makes a difference. But it's better for gearing, better, you can enjoy it a little bit more on the street.
It's a lot more lively on the street, so I can appreciate that.
That's really nice. That's one thing I've always loved about the Grand Sport is it's still freaking fast for a street car, but you can actually enjoy it a little bit. Ideal Michigan road sports car.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I put you in sport for that one. You can tell the noticeably less body roll.
Yeah. It's a little bit tighter, a little bit less float over bumps. Sounds really good.
Speaking of WS6,
hello.
there's a beaut.
So of all the cars you've owned in the last, I don't know, you've had a few Corvettes.
You're about to ask me a loaded question.
Yeah, I mean this is definitely one of the newest cars you've had.
Yeah, this is the second newest car I've owned. The other one being my Taurus that I have now.
How do you still have your license?
I don't drive around with you in the car.
It's because you own it and I don't.
Actually, the faster my cars get, the less trouble I get into.
Really? That's why I drive slow cars.
They just become so fast that, let's be honest, you can't really bring them out or anything.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can get little acceleration squirts out of this and have some fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't be ragging on it everywhere.
No, and once you get a car that handles the well like this, the entrance ramps and exit ramps become as much fun as the speed could be.
Yeah.
So.
No, this thing does handle really well. The steering's pretty good too. Like it's a really well balanced package. Like I can see why the dynamics on the new Corvettes are so good because they kind of took a lesson from this. Whereas, like, I drove an older C6 Z06 and didn't quite have as much confidence in it as I do with this. And it's just super well balanced. The rear end comes around nicely. You can turn off traction control, play around with it a little bit. It's very smooth to drive and to hustle. Corvettes have always been kind of brutish, like muscle, like, you know, it takes some effort to drive them. You kind of have to toss them around a little bit, but this is a little bit more of a, it's going in a direction of more refinement, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. It's got launch control. Never figured out how to use it. But just all of the modern technologies that come along with an old car.
Yeah.
I went from the Viper that had ABS only
That's right.
to a car that has traction, ABS, stability, launch control, competitive driving mode. All of which I never use.
That's right. We'll see if we can get you out on track someday.
Oh, of course.
You should definitely autocross this. Of course, you just cut all the cones in half with the splitter.
Sharpen up the splitter a bit.
Yeah, yeah. Take it down to a fine edge. Yeah, man, this thing's awesome.
Thank you.
I didn't think it would be as good as it is. It's definitely a little bit of a pleasant surprise. I mean, when these came out, everyone complained about the interiors. Everyone complained about the build quality. But, you know, you're getting a car with really, really high performance capabilities, and GM's going to have to save money on, you know, on some parts of it. But at the same time, like, this is aged really well. There's no shakes or rattles. It doesn't feel like everything's falling apart in here. And it drives really nicely. And when you're not paying, what was this new, like 60 grand, 70 grand?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you paid what, 35, 34?
34.
Yeah, when you're not paying $70,000 for this car, you don't care about the interior anymore. And it's fine.
Yeah, once you own a C5Z, just about anything is an improvement.
I know, exactly.
That interior was pretty lousy. Well, and the Dodge Viper's interior was terrible too.
Yeah, exactly. But
The
also,
Viper was an 04 Dodge product.
yeah.
I mean, that couldn't get any worse than that.
My first experience in a Viper was like, I think it was a second gen, maybe it was a first gen, I can't remember. It was my buddy in high school, his dad owned one, he like took it from him without him knowing. We did like one acceleration pull and the mirror just like flew off the windscreen and into like the back area.
Yeah.
Super cheap interiors. But I mean, I think, well, also this car's been really well cared for and has pretty low mileage. I don't know what.
31,000.
You have 31,000 on this. Yeah, it's pretty much brand new.
31,902.
Yep. There's something to be said about finding a good example.
For
But,
sure, and I wanted this specific color, the Infernal Orange.
yeah.
So,
Oh, you got it.
I found it down in Atlanta.
I love this transmission. It's so nice.
It's definitely the best trans I've owned.
Yeah. We haven't really tested the brakes out too, but they have a really nice bite. Yeah, pedal feels awesome. Gets the job done. Okay, I see why you have Corvettes and high-powered cars. I get it now. I've been holding out for years.
You have been.
Yeah.
I was excited when you were going to go beyond a 4-cylinder, and then you told me it was a 5-cylinder, and I was like,
Oh,
well,
shit.
we've gone nowhere.
Yeah.
Might as well have just kept the 4.
I did get a V8 SUV, but it's still slower than everything else that I own. Let's get one more entrance ramp in if this BMW does an exit.
Is he exiting or entering?
fun car.
Thank you. I enjoy it. Without
Yeah.
a doubt.
And it's not lowered, right? But you can lower a little bit on the factory suspension because it's
entirely on factory suspension.
Okay, because it looks completely slammed. It looks amazing.
It feels that way too when
Yeah.
you get into it.
Yeah, it's incredibly low.
Everything's at an angle, especially with the front splitter.
Yep. Cool, man. Well, hey guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate you sticking around for this long. We just go for a casual Thursday drive.
Probably time